Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. That feels so weird to say. I kind of disappeared. I did, and now I have a lot to say on life. And some of the things that I wanted to do, I don't want to do anymore, and I've done things that I never thought I would do. So, here's a life update. First things first, allow me to reintroduce myself. Hi, I'm Vicky Mac with a K, and I really do hope that you subscribe, click the notification bell so that you get an update every time I show face. There we go. Clack it. I've been gone for a while. I believe my last video was posted last year around maybe May or something. I don't know. But I wanted to actually start off with a life update before just getting back to it like I normally do. I do a life update every 2 years at this point, but for today, I actually wanted to do a proper life update because a lot has happened. And the life update is just going to affect everything going forward. And it's so important because I need us to be on the same page. I need you guys to know what's happening here and what's happening around me and where I am in life. So, first things first, we're going to backtrack. I want us to start all the way in November 2024. Yeah, we're going all the way 2 years back. So in 2024, around June, I started my postgrad. So I hardly ever speak about my career on here. And the main reason why I never spoke about my career, if I'm being 100% honest, I wasn't happy. I honestly wasn't happy with where I was in terms of my career. I grew up being a very, very smart girl, like 80s. Okay, we're talking 80s. There's only one subject that I just couldn't crack anything above 74, and that was IT. And anyone who did IT in high school will tell you that that thing is difficult. I grew up getting 80s and being an overachiever. And yeah, my varsity experience humbled me. And for the longest time, my post-grad experience also humbled me. Like I failed my CTA 3 times. And I always say it's 2.5 times, the half being that the third time I was doing it, I was honestly just doing it because they told me I could do it again. I don't think I put enough effort in there. I was tired. I had already given up. So yeah, that could be a separate video. Let me know if you guys want me to talk career. So I decided to go back to school, and I then went on to do my postgrad in accounting science, also called CTA, also called PGDA. Started in June, and in November, which is where we are now in the story. In November, I then decided that I want to move. At the time, I was working in Melrose, but I was living in Centurion. So the travel time between Melrose and Centurion was getting a bit too hectic, to the point where I felt like it was making me tired and too tired to then get home and study. So I took the bold decision to move from Centurion to Santon, which is actually closer to Melrose. Like once I moved to Santon, work was like 10-15 minutes away. Like, so it made everything much easier. It was a big gamble, and I'm so glad it worked out because I don't know what I was going to do if it didn't work out. So yeah, that's when I moved to Santon, and I think you guys saw my apartment change in the vlogs. I never really went into detail, but yeah, that's what happened. And then from the last time you guys saw me, I had exams. I wrote my PGDA exams in April, and that was one of the most emotionally draining experiences. Now, like I said, I wrote this thing 3 times. But it was only on the 4th time that I was doing my PGDA where I really, really felt it. There was a time when I was calling my friend and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going through this. Like, yeah, you feel like you're doing CTA now, nah? And it really felt like it was hard. I've never cried like I have during that time. I was literally waking up, eating, studying, taking a walk, studying. That's it. That's all I was doing every single day leading up to my exams. And it was rough. At the time, I was very numb. My capacity to process anything and everything was so limited that when I wrote my last exam for like 2 weeks straight, I was crying every day. I was crying every single day for no reason. Like, no one actually did anything to me. I was literally just processing what had happened within the last 9 months. Like, I would be washing the dishes and I would remember something that happened within the last 9 months that I haven't processed, and I'd randomly just start crying. Like, during one of my exams, the morning of, I actually almost got involved in an accident. So I never really processed it. I just kept it pushing. But I'd literally be doing something random and I would remember something like that and just start crying. Like, it kind of felt like I was decompressing. Like, I was holding on so much, and it was just a queue of things that I just never processed, that now that the weight of writing had come off, I'm now proper processing all the things that happened. So the day that I got my pre-GDA results, I was a wreck that day. I was a wreck. I couldn't go to work. Well, I didn't go to work that day. And yeah, I got my results and I passed everything. Like God ate with that. Like, he actually ate with that. And so I'm so grateful that of my life is finally over. It was very hard. I'm not even going to downplay it. I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't fun. But from that experience, I actually learned just how resilient I actually am, and just how I can do hard things. Like, I can actually do hard. Like, PGDA was hard and I passed. That's just, I can do hard things. That's what it felt like. In April, I then had to go and write IAC, which was previously ITC, and I wrote that in June. And guess what? Guess what? I passed that. Like, failing PGDA 3 times and then passing IAC on first attempt with only 2 weeks to study. I couldn't believe it when I got my IAC marks. As a matter of fact, I almost didn't write my IAC. Like, I was just like, I'm tired and I don't want to. But I was like, you know what? Pick your socks up. At least if it doesn't go well, if you feel unprepared or you don't do well in the IAC, you can always just write it again in January. But you don't want to forfeit the opportunity to like write it. So I literally wrote it because I was like, hey, I don't want this opportunity to just waste away, because they start counting your attempts from the moment you pass, like from the first opportunity that you have to write. So I was like, you know what? Let me just write now, and then we'll just see. If I have to repeat, it's fine. January is coming. I'll write it again. And that was literally because I only had 2 weeks to study. And yeah, I passed. I was shocked. I was like, oh, Madam Anyway, and then from there, we now get into the rest of the year. So I got my results. I got my PGDA results. I wrote in June and I got them early August. I remember I got them early August, late July. Yeah, it was late July actually when I got my IAC results. And then from there, after getting my IAC results, I then decided to now start proper job hunting. My job at the time started getting quite uncomfortable. I don't want to get into the details, but I think the proper word for it was just not comfortable anymore for me. The external environment, it wasn't even me, it was I like this, I'm not vibing with all of this, like I gotta go. And I managed to get a job. So here we are now in 2026. I have a post-grad, I have an IAC, and I have a new job. Like, that is so crazy to me. And like, my new job is a normal 9 to 5. That was one thing that I had to get used to. My previous job, I used to work shifts. So that would mean that I work for 6 days on, and then I'd be off for 4 days. And part of the 6 days, like 2 of them would be morning shifts, which start at 6 a.m. to 4. 2 of them would be afternoon shifts from 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. And then the other 2 would be evening shifts. So those would start at 2 p.m. and end at 1 a.m. But that would mean that on any random Thursday, I could have a day off to do nothing. And like 4 days off was like, I used to call my days off housewife practice. And so the thing I had to get used to was working a normal 9 to 5. However, I am so glad to be living a normal life. Like, I mean, I'm now living a very, very normal life, and I'm so happy. I'm so fulfilled and just so grateful to God for everything that He has done. I could not, even in my wildest dreams, have imagined things working out the way that they did. Now, am I saying I didn't hope for it? No, but this is beyond everything that I could imagine. And so here we are this year in 2026. And one of the things that I am looking to do with my channel, I just want to do more than just hair. Of course, the hair content is going to keep coming, of course. But I want to do more videos like this where I'm sitting down and talking to you guys about whatever's happening. I'm looking to showing off a bit more of my personality. Like when I go back and I watch my videos, I don't think there's enough of my personality shining through. Like, would you guess that I'm funny? Exactly. How would you know? How would you know? Can you even, am I funny? Am I funny? How would you know? No, you don't know whether or not I'm funny, and that's because I don't show it off. So I'm looking forward to doing a whole lot of that and just playing around and enjoying actually having a YouTube channel. So I am so excited to be starting off this year with you, and I hope, well, wrong finger, this hand, with you, and I hope that you stick around, and I'm looking forward to just seeing you guys again. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Love you loads. And if from anything within the story time you heard something that you want to get a bit more detail on, do feel free to leave your questions down in the comments, and I will be there. I will be camping in the comments, responding to each and every single one. And other than that, guys, I'll see you in the next one.